Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne. He's just one of the best strikers of the ball.
Morning, guys.
That applies just as much to his passing game as it does to his shooting.
Morning, sir.
He generally likes to keep things simple, taking
Okay, welcome back to my online session.
Morning, sir.
Thank you. Welcome back to my session. Now we are in the 10th meeting this week. Hopefully today I could share the contents of the meeting today through that link. So let me inform and explain in this good occasions about the Constitutional Court. In bahasa Indonesia we call as the Mahkamah Konstitusi. In English we now familiar with Constitutional. Before I starting to discuss of this, I would like to remind about the Trias Politica, so familiar with Indonesians in Indonesian nation. Maybe everyone here is also familiar with the concept of Trias Politica. It means that there are three pillars of politics in Indonesia. Namely, there are executive, legislative, and judiciary or judicative. Legislation or legislatures here refers to parliament or House of Representative, DPR, or People Representative Assembly or MPR, or Regional Representative Assembly or DPD, Dewan Perwakilan Daerah, Dewan Majelis Perwakilan Rakyat, or Majelis Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat. It is called legislature. The main function of the legislature is to create a law. Yang mana tugas utama dari lembaga legislatif itu kan membuat undang-undang. As you know, DPR or House of Representative, main job is the create of the law that can be applied in Indonesia. Or they can also edit or revise of the law that's already applied so far. Atau juga bisa meninjau dan kemudian melakukan perubahan. The process of changing the law that's already applied can be conducted by the parliament or by the House of Representative. Termasuk bagaimana undang-undang yang sudah berjalan, yang sudah diterapkan, kemudian ada proses perbaikan atau perubahan, maka bisa dilakukan oleh legislature. And so many laws has been changed so far, and the current issue is familiar with you. It's about Undang-Undang TNI, force regulation, force of law. Undang-undang yang berkaitan dengan TNI itu rame ya. Everyone maybe follow the information through media sosial. So how this law, the process of change of this law become issue, is very interesting issue in Indonesia so far. Yang kaitannya dengan undang-undang TNI. Dan it is the one of the job of the House of Representatives to change, to create or change of the law that's already applied before, and of course because of some context, the law must be edited, must be reviewed with maybe additional context or replace of certain page or certain chapter and then change with the new one. It is something that's very natural to happen during the process of changing of the law. Selain membuat undang-undang, legislatif itu memiliki fungsi lain, yaitu bisa juga merevisi undang-undang yang sudah berjalan. Selain itu apa? DPR, or House of Representative job, selain the create of the law, but also budgeting. Budgeting here means that how the budget that each institution or department in Indonesia discuss in the House of Representatives. Pembahasan tentang penganggaran, anggaran negara, masing-masing kementerian itu dibahas dalam lembaga legislatif. Ya, termasuk supervision. Another job is the supervision, the process of the running in the governance is one of the job from the legislature or legislative. And the second one, what we call as the political trias politica, is executive. Executive or is like a president or governor. It is executive. Executive is the body who runs of the law, who have policy, public policy, who create of the program running for the people workforce in the future. Eksekutif itu adalah lembaga negara yang menjalankan undang-undang, yang membuat kebijakan-kebijakan negara, yaitu pemerintah. Dalam hal ini presiden, gubernur, kementerian, bupati, itu kaitannya dengan eksekutif. And the third one is judiciary. Judiciary is like court, yang terkait dengan mahkamah atau yudikatif adalah mereka atau lembaga yang berperan untuk proses atau menegakkan hukum, enforce of the law, sebagai lembaga penegak hukum, like constitutional court, like Supreme Court. Itu adalah wadah-wadah atau lembaga-lembaga yang bertugas untuk penegakan hukum. Yeah, it is in this a good occasion. I'd like to discuss together with the audience, the students, about the constitutional court. Kita pada kesempatan ini, one of the judiciary yang memiliki peran, a very important role in Indonesia, is constitutional court, or in bahasa Indonesia is called as the Mahkamah Konstitusi. The Constitutional Court is the high judicial institution, the shared judicial power with the Supreme Court, primarily testing laws and regulations. The main goal is to ensure that state administration is based on fair and democratic law. So this court acts as the separator and balancer among the government institutions to prevent of dominance of interest. Lembaga ini atau Mahkamah Konstitusi ini adalah lembaga hukum. Yang salah satu tugasnya adalah bagaimana memastikan undang-undang yang berlaku itu sesuai dengan aturan. This constitution, this court, have the main function is to ensure that the law, the constitution that supply Indonesia is based on the highest law, the highest constitution, Undang-Undang 1945. Jadi lembaga ini bertugas untuk memastikan bahwa jika ada peraturan atau undang-undang yang bertentangan atau yang tidak sesuai, maka dia punya hak untuk mengujinya, kemudian bisa membatalkan atau bisa mengubahnya. Dan ini sudah terjadi beberapa kali. Nah, selain itu, not only to revise or to check of the laws applied in Indonesia, but another job of this court is in the process of politics. Like when the process of election, and then there is like a problem during the process of general election or direct election, where the winner and the lost people have a data and claim that they are true, they are based on the law, based on the constitution, and the process when two candidates before the candidates announced as the winner. So the process of law, the process of the to make sure that the process is running well based on the constitution is the one of the main job of the constitutional court. Dalam proses pemilu misalnya, konstitusi lembaga atau Mahkamah Konstitusi ini penting. Karena wadah inilah yang nanti akan bisa menyidangkan jika ada kasus misalnya si kalah dan si menang itu kan belum menerima kekalahannya, maka harus dilaporkan ke Mahkamah Konstitusi. The loser group will give the report to Constitutional Court, dan Mahkamah Konstitusi akan melakukan sidang. Apakah yang kalah ini memiliki bukti yang kuat untuk kemudian mengatakan bahwa yang menang itu cacat hukum atau banyak melakukan pelanggaran. Dia punya data, dia punya fakta, harus diuji, disidangkan dengan sejumlah hakim. Keputusannya itulah yang kemudian dijadikan pegangan. The final punishment from the Constitutional Court is the final. Makanya ada kasus di mana ada beberapa wilayah yang harus mengikuti pemilihan ulang. Ada daerah yang harus mengikuti pemilihan ulang karena ditemukan adanya bukti kuat ada pelanggaran di situ. Keputusan Mahkamah Konstitusi ini itu memastikan bahwa proses demokrasi itu berjalan baik, tidak terjadi pelanggaran masif, tidak terjadi yang menyebabkan terjadinya kemenangan terhadap calon tertentu karena memanfaatkan powernya atau melanggar aturan, melanggar hukum untuk bisa menang dalam sebuah proses pemilihan. Dan itu sering kita lihat dalam proses persidangan atau dalam proses penetapan calon yang akan menjadi pemenang dalam pilkada atau dalam proses dalam pemilihan DPR. Okay, we start from the history of the formation. The first constitutional court established in Australia in 1920. In Indonesia, this court established in the era of Megawati Soekarno as the president. Jadi lembaga ini di awalnya didirikan di Austria in 1920 to maintain constitutional supremacy amid post-war political instability. In Indonesian context, in 2003, as part of the legal reform, Indonesian Constitution Court, Initial law comply with the 1945 Constitution. It is the underlying date. This institution, this court, to ensure that the law simply with the 1945 Constitution, and of course must use to protect up to certain constitutional right. It is the point.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne.
Jadi kalau ada peraturan yang dibuat, itu memastikan bahwa peraturan itu tidak bertentangan dengan undang-undang yang lebih tinggi, yaitu Undang-Undang Dasar 1945.
I've got a feeling he's
untuk
going to
memastikan adanya hukum yang tidak bertabrakan.
so much.
So if we count from now, this constitution, this court has already 22 years, from 2003 up to now, 2025. 22 years. Yeah. Okay, this is about it. The philosophy and legal basis of Indonesian Constitution. So we talk about the basis philosophy. As I informed and explained before, that this constitution, this constitutional court, this body, established to enforce law and resolve dispute filed. Okay, I remind. The basic philosophy of this constitutional court established to enforce law and resolve dispute fairly, considering judges' role and political influences in lawmaking.
Well, she's out wide.
And the second one, number 2, legal foundation. The legal foundation of this body, based on the law number 24 of 2020, ratified on August 2003, signed by President Megawati Soekarno Putri. Meanwhile, the constitutional judges were appointed and sworn in shortly after, marking a new era of Indonesian government. Jadi, para hakim konstitusi ditunjuk dan disumpah, ya, untuk memastikan bahwa mereka punya independen. The judges must be independent. They are not connecting with the certain group, certain community, and they have to independent in resulting of the punishment. Di hakim-hakim yang bertugas dalam Mahkamah Konstitusi itu dipilih secara ketat. The process of selecting of the constitutional judges were conducted by the teamwork, the committee, to make sure that the judges or the constitutional judges have the power, has the competence, has the integrity. Because the final or decision that this constitutional resulted is the final and binding. I mean that whatever is the result, when this constitution make a decision, must be applied.
Beres, Pak. Beres,
Jadi,
Pak.
keputusan yang dihasilkan dari mahkamah ini sifatnya akhir, tidak bisa digugat lagi.
Sayurnya salah.
Sehingga constitutional judges yang menyidangkan kasus ini harus betul-betul melaksanakan tugas secara profesional dan independen, tidak terikat atau terbelenggu oleh kepentingan tertentu. Karena keputusannya tidak akan bisa ada yang mengklaim atau menggugat karena sifatnya final. Okay, what are the duties and responsibilities? We are talking about the duties and responsibilities of the Constitutional Court. There are some. Number 1 is constitutional oversight. That's law again the 1945 Constitution. Jadi mengkaji undang-undang terhadap Undang-Undang 45. Apakah undang-undang yang dibuat itu sesuai dengan Undang-Undang Dasar 45. Second one, dispute resolution. Decide disputes over authority to state constitution and election the result. Tapi kalau ada kerja memutuskan perkara ya terhadap otoritas negara. Ya kayak tadi ketika terjadi pemilihan ada perbedaan hasil, yang kalah menggugat, maka proses persidangan dilakukan di MK untuk memastikan bahwa proses yang dilaksanakan itu berjalan dengan baik berdasarkan undang-undang. Ya termasuk di dalamnya tugasnya adalah political party in violation cases and the dissolution of political parties in constitutional violation within the executive branch. Jadi ini juga berkaitannya dengan partai politik. Jadi partai politik di Indonesia kan proses establishment of political parties juga nanti dikawal prosesnya oleh MK. How about the appointment and qualification of constitutional court judges? There are 5 judges. Yeah. There are 5 judges in the constitutional court. Ini proposed by DPR, 3 diusulkan oleh DPR, 3 by Presiden, and 3 by Supreme Court. 3 diusulkan oleh Presiden dan 3 lainnya diusulkan oleh Mahkamah Agung. And appointed directly by the President. And then the qualification, of course, the qualification was needed by the judges. The constitutional judges, of course, must have the good integrity and applicable personality, the fairness and mastery of constitution. Itu harus punya kemampuan dan penguasaan terhadap hukum. Cannot currently serve as state of condition. Paling penting punya integritas, independen, walaupun diusulkan oleh presiden, tapi dalam mengambil keputusan dia tidak boleh berafiliasi ke kelompok tertentu, tapi dia sifatnya independen. Dia bukan bawahannya presiden, tapi dia bekerja secara profesional mandiri untuk menguji undang-undang atau membuat keputusan terhadap kasus-kasus politik. Ya salah satunya misalnya tadi kayak the process of general election, process of presidential election or parliamentary election or regional governor or regency election. Semua proses akhir itu ditangani oleh MK. So it's a very crucial process. So the judges, constitutional judges must higher integrity and competent, of course. Itu menjawab integritas yang paling penting. Ya, the popularity and challenge in Indonesian Constitutional Court ini memang ya tantangannya banyak. Karena keputusan, the decision of this constitutional court become a public attention. The last issue where Gibran as the candidate of president, because of his age, based on decision of constitutional court, even he is still under the age based on the constitution before. So the process of then constitutional courts made a decision to ensure that Gibran can be a candidate of president even his age is still under of the constitutional before. Jadi kasus yang paling rame ditetapkan adalah bagaimana ketika MK menyidangkan kasus tentang usia calon wakil presiden. Dan itu ramai sekali. Mahkamah memutuskan bahwa batas usia minimum calon itu diubah sehingga Gibran pada saat itu bisa menjadi calon wakil presiden karena putusan MK-nya membolehkan itu, dan itu ramai. Public attention, and the second one is corruption scandal. 2013, Chief Justice Akil Mukhtar was caught accepting, sehingga karena ini keputusannya sangat mempengaruhi, sehingga sangat challenge, sangat rawan terhadap korupsi. Ya, contoh begini, kepala daerah supaya menang, rela dong membayar ratusan juta bahkan miliaran supaya keputusan MK memenangkan dirinya misalnya. Dan proses itu sangat mungkin, dan ini terjadi in 2013 when the Chief of Justice, Ketua Mahkamah Konstitusi waktu itu Akhil Mukhtar, was caught accepting bribes related to election. Ini terbukti melakukan pelanggaran dengan menerima bayaran kira-kira begitu untuk memenangkan calon tertentu. And the third one is international law. Indonesia helped establish the Association of State Constitutional Court and Equivalents institution in 2010, fostering the legal operation. The authority of the MK or Mahkamah Konstitusi or Constitutional Court is final. Jadi posisinya adalah the Constitutional Court hold exclusive